Dear Mr. Chair, distinguished delegates, honored guests, queuing up to receive water, sleeping under the open air, or having to walk for days and holding on the hand of my little brother so that he would not get lost. Experiences that marked my childhood. Yet those experiences are nothing compared to the fate and plight of some nowadays. It seems like the day of yesterday that I got the chance to start a new life in the Netherlands as a Dutch citizen. Exactly 16 years ago, in the early days of autumn, as a little Kurdish boy, I was forced to seek shelter in a refugee camp in the Middle East. My parents wondered, as most of the nearly 60 million forcibly displaced people we have right now, when their safety and when their life prospects would be guaranteed. There was not a simple answer to this question, so we embarked on a long and uncertain journey, eventually reaching the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, where I grew up with the Dutch down-to-earthness and where I experienced the definition of tolerance in society. And now I can sit here with pride and represent all the young voices from the Netherlands. Some people call this mass migration we see nowadays a human right. Some call it a natural process, and some see it as a danger to the nation. Refugees, as a group of foreigners, often become the primary target of racist hatred. Political debates in some countries have blurred all the issues that relate to foreigners. Asylum seekers, refugees, economic migrants, immigrants, and seasonal workers are often lumped together. The response of too many governments has been to protect borders and neglect the people in need, but it cannot be solved with higher walls. Because of the heated discussions, we forgot the human face of the issue. It took us a picture of little Aylan al-Kurdi from Kobani with his face lying in the sand to see the real face of this humanitarian crisis again. Over the past year, I spoke to thousands of young people in the Netherlands. I debated with Dutch students and visited youngsters in refugee camps in conflict areas. Together with my colleagues from Germany, Belgium, Bulgaria, and Austria, we have brought our hearts and minds together in tackling this humanitarian crisis. The situation right now shows us the interdependence of the international community. It shows us how the problems of one country can have immediate consequences for other countries. More than half of the refugees are below the age of 18 and are forced to live in insecure situations. They lack access to underlying determinants of health such as food, water, sanitation, and security, and to essential healthcare services such as psychosocial healthcare. We recently adopted the Sustainable Development Agenda. Half of the world is under 25 years old, and 90% of young people live in developing countries. We cannot achieve the SDGs without them. As the Secretary General recognized that the biggest shortfall in achieving the Millennium Development Goals was a lack of strong accountability at both national and international levels. We cannot make the same mistake again, and we can't continue to overlook the power of young people in this process. As it stands, young people are being consistently overlooked as powerful agents to hold global leaders to account. Dear Mr. Chair, as a little boy, I never could have imagined that one day I would get the chance to address the same organization that once gave me shelter. 16 years ago, I asked you for safety, food, and water. Today, I ask you to show your solidarity with one of the largest populations of refugees the world has ever seen. I ask this for Kewan, a 20-year-old boy I recently met in a refugee camp. I ask this for Payam, who arrived a week ago in the Netherlands and who I spoke to in a migrant center. I ask it for Janneke, Mirjam, Roos, and Sonne, 4 young Dutch volunteers who I met and who have opened their houses for new immigrants. We as young people can be local changers. By handing out a blanket or sometimes just a smile, we can show that the power of people is stronger than people in power. And not to forget, I want to ask this for a whole new generation of young people who deserve to grow up in a multicultural society like the one I grew up in. Because youth is not the future, youth is the present. Thank you very much.
Je vous remercie.
Thank you. I give the floor now to Egypt.